Welcome! Time to get you caught up. Earth went boom, we live on Mars, the president was assassinated, there was a civil war, then another war, and now shockingly we're at peace. But for how long? April 4th, 2270. Scarlet Pratt has won the presidential election. Her first goal is repairing our relations with our galactic neighbors, after the recent crises that we have been a part of. President Scarlet Pratt has already set about the process of repairing our relations. She has also declared that she will do her best to make the United Martian Republic a full member of the Interstellar Pact, although this does require the support of the Martian Congress, since they must ratify the treaty. June 4th, 2270. Axiom Labs has presented a new technology that they were calling hyper-relays. These hyper-relays apparently allow for extremely fast hyperspace travel between two systems. The only problem is the technology relies on a large amount of rare crystals to build only one relay, and there has to be one in each system that we want to travel to. President Scarlet Pratt has ordered the Science Directorate to find a reliable means of acquiring these crystals, or find an alternative material, so that we may start large-scale tests of the hyper-relays. July 5th, 2270. The UMRS Tyson has been called back to Mars, since its captain was elected president. The vessel has been put under the command of Captain Clegg, which is of the Phasivlin species. February 7th, 2271. The Science Directorate has developed small two-person fighter-bomber craft. Originally, the Martian Navy was opposed to using such craft in favor of larger warships, but this craft's capabilities have convinced them to test how useful they could be. The Security Council has requested designs for a cruiser-sized vessel that can act as a command ship for a fleet, and to carry a complement of the new fighter-bomber craft, since they do not have hyperdrives. The design selected was the Lancaster class, and one ship of the class has been ordered for the first Peacekeeping Division. The Lancaster class was designed in the early 2270s to be a command cruiser. The class is named after the famous Earth aircraft, the Avro Lancaster. At a length of 500 meters and a width of 250 meters, it has a crew complement of 350 spread across 40 decks. The class is armed with one photonic torpedo launcher, 4 Sentinel defense grids, and 2 fighter-bomber squadrons. It has 5 Type 2 shield generators and heavy plasteel armor. The class is equipped with a cold fusion reactor, ion thrusters, gravimetric sensors, a holodeck for recreation and training, a cloaking device, secondary fusion reactors for additional power budget, and a command center that is separate from the bridge and designed to effectively coordinate a fleet. July 23rd, 2271. The UMRS Enterprise has started searching through the debris of the former habitats found orbiting Ionidas 4. Captain Brooklyn Miller discovered a depiction of the former inhabitants, which we have dubbed the Laids. The Laids have an unusual trinary body structure, standing upon 3 legs like a tripod. They sprout 2 sets of 3 arms. Each arm has 3 fingers, as well as a full 3 heads. Each head has 1 big eye, 1 ear, and 2 mouths. Unfortunately, we have been unable to find any organic remains of the Laids, but their biology would have been fascinating to study. Near this depiction, we also discovered what we believe to be a Laid script, but translation has so far been futile. September 9th, 2271. The GIA, or Galactic Intelligence Agency, has received intel about some strange activity by ONED security forces on Ibrid-Amon, the ONED capital. It seems to stem from some political unrest. Our embassy has also seen a drastic increase of activity near its grounds. The president has received requests to bolster the embassy's security, but she believes that doing so would only generate more unrest, especially among the ONED military. October 4th, 2271. Axiom Labs has continued research into cybernetic brain implants, and they received permission to test on small animals, after definitively proving that the test would not cause any harm to the animal. One such test involved an animal being given data via computer on how to solve a maze, and then the animal was able to complete the maze on the first try. Axiom Labs has now requested permission to try this on a fully sentient being, but this does require significantly more detailed studies and peer reviews before the government will approve it. December 26th, 2271. The Science Directorate has developed synthetic versions of the crystals needed for the hyper-relays. The process to make these crystals is a very complex and expensive one, and it takes a specialized facility to produce them. One such facility is planned to be built on the colony of Titan. March 13th, 2272. A new resolution is up for a vote in the Galactic Senate. This resolution would set galactic regulations on certain industries. President Scarlet Pratt has voted to oppose this resolution on the grounds that the regulations are very lax and poorly written, allowing for loopholes to be taken advantage of. This also allows for environmental problems to arise in the future. Sadly, it appears the resolution will pass with a 70-30 majority vote. April 3rd, 2272. The mystery surrounding the demise of the Lyids deepens. Although our team has been unable to find any evidence as to what caused the destruction of their habitats, they have cataloged a large number of items, ranging from small fragments of small spacecraft to all manner of everyday objects. Unfortunately, it appears that the Lyids' electronic systems were not of a very sturdy design, so very few of them survived the past few thousand years. However, what surprised our researchers is that not a single object was identified as a weapon. This has led our scientists to theorize that the Lyids were an entirely pacifist species. Who or what caused the destruction is still unknown, but our scientists are doing their best to find out. April 23rd, 2272. Our research post in the Alpha Lyncus system that is studying the Starship Graveyard reports an unusual find among the wrecks, an almost completely intact warship with a number of interesting features. They are requesting a science vessel to assist them with exploring the warship. The nearest science vessel is the UMRS Tyson, which has been ordered to assist. July 2nd, 2272. The liberated commune of Boas Sinide has again requested our assistance with pirates, this time with the ones in the Hixeris system. The 1st Peacekeeping Division has been sent to participate in this policing action. December 10th, 2272. The first hyper relay is currently under construction in Sol, and another will be built in the Ryama system, connecting them, allowing for the first large-scale test of the relays. December 15th, 2272. Our research team has made a potential breakthrough in regard to the Lyids. An intact data core has been found, and it is believed to contain thousands of documents and videos. However, adapting it to be viewed in a format that humans can perceive will take a considerable effort, not to mention that we have still been unable to translate their language, since it is remarkably different than anything we have encountered so far. December 28th, 2272. 100 years have passed since Earth was destroyed, and Mars was left to fend for itself. These past 100 years have been some of the most important in human history, rivaling that of the Industrial Revolution. We have gone from being a civilization constrained to one solar system, to being a galactic power that spans multiple planets and has made contact with over a dozen alien species. April 11th, 2273. The successful arrest of pirates in the Hixeris system has led to the Security Council starting an anti-piracy campaign, now that the 1st Peacekeeping Division is strong enough to take on the more powerful pirate fleets. June 5th, 2273. The Martian embassy on Irila Mon has become a target of protests by government supporters, and the political landscape as a whole has started deteriorating rapidly. The political opposition is quite vocal about the government's failings when it comes to galactic relations, especially their handling of the Martian-owned war, and that they should try to stay active in galactic affairs instead of being xenophobic isolationists. If the political opposition were to assume power, it would most likely mean a whole new chapter in Martian-owned relations. But the current government has started rounding up the opposition on charges of religious conspiracy. The GIA believes that those who are rounded up are being sent to prison camps on their colonies and being worked to death. President Scarlet Pratt has finally authorized additional security for our embassy, including 2 extra shuttles in the event that the embassy needs to be evacuated. The ONED government has assured us that all steps will be taken to ensure our diplomats' safety in accordance with our peace treaty. August 1st, 2273. The UMRS Tyson has completely explored the wrecked warship and has taken extremely detailed scans of it. Our engineers have been impressed by the ship's extremely streamlined design. It neglects any form of comfort in favor of pure practicality. August 19th, 2273. The Onan political landscape has completely broken down. There are riots in the streets by both sides. There have been multiple Onan citizens that have jumped or have tried to jump the embassy's perimeter wall and requested political asylum. Not to mention the protests outside the embassy have started to turn violent, and the Onan military that was sent to resolve the situation have been seen joining in on the protests and riots. The embassy has been put on alert, meaning all documents, electronic and physical, are ready to be shredded and deleted at a moment's notice. November 30th, 2273. The GIA has been contacted by the Onan opposition leader, and they have requested support from us in their coming fight. When questioned about their coming fight, they said that they will only share more information if support is already on its way. Commander Phobos, director of the GIA, believes that they are planning a coup of the current Onan government. President Scarlet Pratt is very wary of supporting the overthrow of another recognized government, so support is refused. But the opposition was told, depending on their initial success, support might be on the table in the future. In the meantime, the President meets with the Oversight Committee in charge of overseeing the GIA to discuss our options in regards to Martian and galactic law. March 21st, 2274. The protests and riots outside of our embassy have reached a tipping point, so the embassy has been ordered to evacuate. All data is being destroyed, and all personnel are loaded into the 5 shuttles at the embassy. The main problem that has been encountered is where do the shuttles go, since normally they would be escorted to an Onan military base on the planet. But since the Onan military has been seen participating in the riots, that is not an option. So the shuttles are going to take up a low orbit of the planet and send a distress call only on friendly frequencies. Shortly after the last shuttle carrying the last of the embassy security departed, we observed rioters, including the Onan military, storming the embassy, and they lit it on fire. A freighter belonging to the Bensign Regency of Shiraka has responded to our shuttle's distress call and asked if they required any assistance. The situation was explained, and the freighter has agreed to turn back and pick up the shuttles and transport them to New Berlin, where they can get a military transport back to Mars. March 30th, 2274. Our scientists have managed to decipher a key, allowing access to the Lyad's data core. In it, we found a video, and in this video, the Lyad habitats are still intact, and hundreds of them can be seen orbiting the gas giant. The Lyads appear to be having a public ceremony. A large crowd of them are staring at a screen, watching 2 Lyads talking. Although it is difficult for us to read Lyad emotions, they appear to be calm and upbeat. One of the Lyads say that they have discovered what they came here for. They found the meaning of life and death itself, and now they know who they are, where they came from, and where they're going. The other Lyad spreads its arms and says we may now depart in peace. The Lyads in the arena cheer and appear to be celebrating as the habits suddenly detonate. No sign of panic can be seen before the recording cuts off. It appears that the Lyads experienced a feeling of serenity and ecstasy. We can only assume that the Lyads believed, either rightly or wrongly, that they had discovered the secrets of their lives and the afterlife, and they decided to move on to the afterlife. April 7th, 2274. The political instability on Ivy Lamon has escalated to a full-blown rebellion. The government has the support of their elite military divisions and hardcore believers of their faith, while the majority of the military and outer colonies are supporting the rebellion. The rebellion does not have access to an abundance of resources and weapons, and without our help to supply these, the rebellion would most likely fail. The GIA has received permission from the President and the Intelligence Oversight Committee to start secretly supporting the rebellion. If the rebellion fails and our involvement is discovered, it could have drastic consequences on the diplomatic stage, since we are essentially supporting the overthrow of a galactically recognized government. This interference in their politics would also void our peace treaty with the Oned, which could escalate to another war. July 12th, 2274. The Science Directorate has developed designs for an orbital ring that can be built in orbit of Mars. The resources required have been purchased on the newly formed galactic market, and the construction will begin shortly. October 15th, 2274. The Oned Rebellion is now in full swing, with both sides fighting for support from the undecided elements of the government. The Navy was split in half, and battles are raging in space and on some colonies. The GIA has started sending shipments of weapons, medicine, fuel, and food to the rebellion, by using the colonies that support them to disguise the shipments, to hopefully avoid them discovering our involvement. Director Phobos estimates the rebellion has a 55% chance of winning. January 15th, 2275. Zara Adwam, our ambassador to the Bensign Regency of Shiraka, seems to have gone native. She seems to have fully embraced Shirakan spirituality and their way of life. When challenged about the sudden and radical change, she responds by saying that you can't deny divine truth. This has caused a motion to recall her back to Mars, as her loyalty has fallen into question. However, others point out that having an ambassador that can fully understand those who have a very different outlook than we do could be very beneficial. The President has decided not to recall Zara Adwam, so long as she stays loyal to the Martian Republic and follows her orders, even if she does not agree with them. January 22nd, 2275. After years of trying, we have finally managed to replicate the Ixodar Star Collective's temporal shields that essentially distort space-time by a few milliseconds. The technology will need to be developed drastically further before we can install it on our vessels. April 22nd, 2275.
Since they refused to surrender, the 1st Peacekeeping Division has engaged the pirate fleet. Turns out, the pirates were no match for the well-established, experienced 1st Peacekeeping Division, and many of the criminals have been arrested.
August 8th, 2275. The Oned Rebellion has started to make great progress towards the capital city on Iri Lamon, and the GIA believes the fate of the Oned government will be decided in the next few days. The rebellion has broken through the government's lines, and many of their soldiers were captured, and the government's remaining forces are not strong enough to stop the rebellion from arresting the revered elder Korb. With the arrest of Korb, it has paved the way for the new revered elder Feti, who has already reached out to us about fixing our embassy, and to set up talks in hope of forming a trade agreement with us. March 4th, 2276. The hyper relay in the Ryama system has been completed, and the first test of the system was a complete success. It cut the travel time from a week or two down to only a few minutes. More hyper relays have been ordered to connect the rest of the Martian colonies to the capital. There is a possibility that the network of relays may be expanded even further in the future, to allow the Navy to traverse from one border to another, should a war occur and rapid deployment be needed. June 13th, 2276. Captain Brooklyn Miller on board the UMRS Enterprise has discovered a small object in extremely close orbit of the star Ampol Deer. We believe the object is some form of advanced satellite. The satellite is surprisingly responding to Enterprise's hails and returning information collected from the star. The satellite is also responding to simple orders given to it, including movement orders, so Captain Brooklyn Miller gives the satellite the order to raise its orbit so we can study it in further detail. July 1st, 2276. Axiom Labs has completed their trial on sentient beings and believes it is now possible to upload your mind to a computer and control it. The government will require drastically more information and tests before it will approve this for public use. July 27th, 2276. Our talks with the new Oned government about forming a trade agreement was successful, so much so that a research sharing treaty was also formed. The Martian embassy on Iri Lamon is set to reopen in the coming days. August 18th, 2276. The UMRS Enterprise has found an abandoned mine on the desert world Ampol Deer 2A, so Captain Brooklyn Miller leads an away team down to investigate. At the bottom of the mine, the team discovered an enormous rocket in a missile silo. The rocket was believed to be a weapon at first, but after further inspection, it was discovered that the rocket has a cockpit. and an extremely primitive version of hyperdrive. Unfortunately, the drive appears to have had a fatal flaw, and if it was used, it would have most likely imploded once activated, due to the extreme gravitational forces at play. We are not sure what happened here, but whatever species inhabited this planet has gone extinct, and we have not yet discovered why. September 1st, 2276. The Hyper Relay Network has been extended all the way to New Berlin. Now construction is currently underway to connect the Ares colony to the network. January 16th, 2277.
A pirate fleet has snuck past the 1st Peacekeeping Division while it was engaged with a pirate asteroid base. This pirate fleet is about to attack our outpost in the Soster system. The Martian flagship, the UMRS Enterprise, is also in the system. The 1st Peacekeeping Division is travelling at maximum speed in an attempt to attack the pirate fleet before it destroys our outpost and the Enterprise. Sadly, the 1st Peacekeeping Division did not arrive in time and the outpost was completely destroyed, and the Enterprise took severe damage before the emergency defense protocols activated and caused the Enterprise to engage its hyperdrive with no predetermined location. All we can do now is wait for the Enterprise to exit hyperspace and re-establish communications. So the 1st Peacekeeping Division has been ordered to stay in pursuit of this pirate fleet. We must catch up to them at all costs. Contact with the Enterprise has been re-established, but they're reporting suffering a massive 33 fatalities and a total of 56 casualties. The Enterprise is currently en route to the Ares colony so the wounded crew members can receive treatment. This incident has caused a renewed determination to continue our anti-piracy campaign.
May 5th, 2277. The Science Directorate has improved our old plasma launchers by adding accelerators that are capable of launching the high-energy plasma at much higher velocities. The containment fields that prevent energy leakage have also been improved, resulting in a much faster projectile that is much more potent upon contact with a vessel's shields and armor. July 5th, 2277. The Martian Congress is set to vote on whether or not we should apply for full Federation membership with the Interstellar Pact. The vote is 71 to 41 in favor of membership. The formal request has been sent to the Interstellar Pact. We will have to pass certain benchmarks to qualify for membership, but we believe we have already met all criteria, and all that should remain is a vote among the members, which needs to be unanimous in order to add a new member. July 15th, 2277. The Interstellar Pact has unanimously accepted our application. The process of integrating our military into the Federation command structure has started with our joining of the Officer Exchange Program, which means we will send a few of our best officers to each member of the Federation, and they will do the same. We will still maintain our own fleet and command structure, but integration allows for better response time and our ability to participate in Federation military operations. The Martian Republic is also expected to contribute to the combined Federation fleet in terms of resources, technology, and highly trained crews. This technology sharing allows for the Federation fleet to have all the best technologies working together. September 26th, 2277. The Science Directorate has announced that they have developed an artificial intelligence based on the one the Liberated Commune designed years ago. The AI is self-improving, so much so that it makes even the smartest Martian scientists look like ants in comparison. The fear that a creation will surpass the capabilities of its creator has existed since even before humans developed computing, and this fear still exists today. So the AI was suspended in an unstable hyperspace bubble that can be collapsed instantly. Critics say that such a powerful intelligence cannot be contained forever, and that eventually it will just talk the scientists into releasing it. The Science Directorate completely disagrees with the critics, and the hyperspace bubble will remain open until ordered to close it. October 21st, 2277.
So the 1st Peacekeeping Division has caught up and engaged the pirate fleet. While we did suffer moderate damage, the operation was still a success, and we have arrested over 400 pirates in our anti-piracy campaign. The fleet will proceed back to Mars for repairs and upgrades.
November 6th, 2277. The Compact of Great Vanti reports that an extremely powerful entity of some kind has been encountered in the Dodo Nam system. It does not appear to be hostile, and may not even be fully aware of conventional spacecraft, but its mere presence in Dodo Nam is causing massive subspace disturbances in the entire system. These disturbances get stronger the closer you get to the entity. We believe the disturbances will dissipate once the entity leaves the system. The entity does not acknowledge hails. However, the entity is continuously emitting a complex pattern of tachyon pulses, which appears to be a form of language. If our translation is correct, it is continuously saying Blur seeks, Blur finds over and over again. March 30th, 2278.
Okay, so a civilian cargo ship carrying the last shipment of alloys for the hyper relay in the Sysmark system has transmitted a distress call and a message that they are under attack by a massive pirate fleet and won't last long. Less than 10 minutes later, the distress signal goes dark, indicating they have been destroyed. Then our outpost in the system also sends out a distress call. It too goes dark. Well, the fleet has already been dispatched and is en route to engage the pirates. So the Sysmark system acts as a vital transit hub, since you must travel through the system if you wish to go to the Ares colony, meaning that the Ares colony will start to have shortages of goods. Luckily, the colony can produce enough food to sustain itself. The system is also in the heart of the Martian Republic, and the people are demanding answers as to how this group was able to plan and pull this off without the GIA or the Navy knowing about it. So the Security Council, they have ordered a thorough examination of the Navy and the GIA to determine how this can be avoided in the future.
June 6th, 2278. We have found artifacts from an ancient civilization on Delta Cephi 2. From what we have translated so far of their language, we have learned that these aliens called themselves the Arasian Concordant. They were an interstellar power that held sway over this region of the galaxy a little over 1 million years ago. They appear to have been six-limbed mammals, and we found several references to some sort of plague called the Javorian Pox, which swept across their empire with devastating results, and may have led to their extinction. August 5th, 2278.
So we have intel that the pirates in the Sysmark system, they've been observed dismantling the hyper relay that was under construction in that system. Now we believe that they have plans to blow up the relay once the first peacekeeping division enters the system, and then they're going to flee with the goods that they have gathered.
On November 30th, 2278. Further talks with the Oned government has led to a free migration treaty, allowing Martians and Oned to travel unrestricted in either government space. January 21st, 2279.
The first peacekeeping division was able to use the demonized nebula's interference with sensors to sneak up on the pirates in the Sysmark system. We have arrested over 100 pirates, and the rest were killed in the fight. Unfortunately, they were still able to destroy the hyper relay, meaning we have to clear the wreckage from the area and start construction all over again. A minor setback indeed.
March 17th, 2279. The Security Council has ordered a new starbase be built in the Sysmac system, in an attempt to avoid pirate activity in the future, and to secure this vital transport hub so the Ares colony can't be cut off from the rest of the Republic again. June 2nd, 2279. An individual named Bati Alvi has inspired colonists on Titan, and the colonists have started treating him with the royal honors. He has not yet used this new authority for his own benefit, but Governor Jamie Plays has received a petition to make his position as Prince of Titan official. This would drastically deviate from normal procedures, so the governor has denied the petition, and in response, Bati Alvi has called for protests. During these protests, some participants turned to violence and looting, all while Bati praised them for the good that they were doing. In response, the Planetary Guard has acquired a warrant for Bati Alvi's arrest on charges of criminal incitement of a riot. The Planetary Guard is preparing for unknown backlash in terms of riots when the arrest occurs. As expected, more protests and riots started, but the quick response of the Planetary Guard has shut down the riots. The peaceful protests were allowed to continue. August 22nd, 2279. Former President Philip Hall has passed away at his home on Mars at the age of 127. Per his request, his remains have been transported to the UMRS Keldon and launched into space to drift through the cosmos. The ceremony will be broadcasted to all planets and outposts. President Scarlet Pratt will also be attending the ceremony. A statue of Philip Hall will be built and placed in the presidential park alongside President Charlie Gent and all other presidents of the former Martian colonies and the United Martian Republic. September 5th, 2279. The Security Council has finished its review of the Navy and the GIA. The GIA has had a restructuring of its intel sharing systems, allowing for faster sharing between agencies, the military, and other Federation members' intelligence agencies. The Martian Navy has undergone an extensive overhaul of its command structure. The 1st Peacekeeping Division has been renamed to the 1st Division, since the original purpose of the fleet has changed from being a peacekeeping force to being a formal military, with a secondary purpose of policing our space, especially against pirates. The Security Council has also planned for a 2nd Division to be formed in the coming years. October 1st, 2279. The liberated commune of Boas Sinaid has discovered several artifacts believed to originate from the Arassian Concordant. The artifacts are currently being displayed in one of their museums, but they have offered to give us one since we have taken a great interest in the study of the Arassian Concordant. President Scarlet Pratt has thanked the liberated commune, and transport arrangements have already been made to bring it to Mars for study. November 23rd, 2279. The UMRS Tyson has discovered unusual signals emanating from the ice asteroid CC-9 in the Fudu system. Upon further investigation, the signal was tracked to a minuscule black hole, only a few centimeters across. The black hole seems to be generating subspace disturbances. Captain Clegg believes the black hole is artificial in nature, although we don't know why. Whatever the reason, further research could provide valuable information. January 1st, 2280. The presidential election has started once again. This time there are 3 promising candidates: incumbent Scarlet Pratt, head of the Science Directorate Jonathan Brown, and Governor Isabella Kirk. Should we try terraforming Earth, or should we leave it as a reminder of our past? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you, Cornish Rapbeard, for helping me with this episode. Check out the Discord that I run with Cornish Rapbeard and Jamie Plays. I sometimes ask Discord members to vote on important matters happening in the next episode, so if you would like to vote, there is a link to the Discord in the description below.
Live long and prosper.